Today we're going to be installing a Kavanjo into this Mastertone Gibson. I'm going to just grab my pickup out of the bag, and you can see I've got the head mount version with the grounding wire and then the bracket option here. So I'm going to just put this right in there. There's a little line right here in the front here that I'm going to line up with the center of the neck, and then I just push that down. This is a high crown, 11-inch standard head. Just push that all the way down there. Make sure that it's in the center of the neck so everything will line up. Take your rim, place your rim with this scalloped area right here where the strings come through that canal. Push that down slightly. Then take one of the lug nuts and bring it up. On each side. Just keep monitoring that center line if you can. I have this raised up on a drum to give me a faster way of attaching these lug nuts so I can have them dangling. You could use a pillow or a blanket. With changing in as many heads as we do, it's easier to use something that's like this. I'll just show you. This is just a drum that I made. So I just set this on there and it kind of raises it up for me to be able to get in here and tighten these lugs. I got all the lugs in right now. So obviously the head's not anywhere close to being in tension. So at this point I'm going to turn this over and start to do a little tightening. I'm holding this lug down here as I tighten so I don't lose its place in the rim. Okay, so I've gone around one time with that. Do these guys maybe. Okay. Alright, I'm just going to pick this up. At this point I want to make sure that I have my pickup straight. So I come back here and make sure that the pickup line, these two heads of the pickup are lined up with the center of the neck. Alright, now I can tell that I'm lined up with my pickup here. I'm going to start to bring this head closer to tension. I'm doing this in twos because at this point the head is I'll probably even do this by hand at this point still. When you're doing this process, don't be afraid to go back and just check out and make sure all of these lug nuts are seating into the rim correctly and that they haven't fallen out of their little pocket. And also you can tap the head and see if you're maintaining a pretty consistent tension on all of those lugs. So here I'm going to just keep working on this tightening. Now most of the lugs are only giving me about a quarter of a turn, or maybe even a little less than a quarter. Fifth. There was a quarter. And that's going to give me an idea of where I'm at on the overall tightening, as well as the tension of the head. So I'm imagining that I push down on here, and this is where my bridge is going to go. So you know, depending on how much pound per pressure I'm going to push on there will tell me, am I getting there? I think I'm getting there. So at this point, maybe I'm up high enough on this head that it would make sense to put the strings on, because if I put the strings on, it'll push down on there, which will change the tension. So I don't want to over tighten the head because that's going to stifle the low end. And so at this point I'm going to go ahead and put the strings back on. Okay, we're in relative tune right now. Enough that I can figure out how my harmonics are doing. A little flat, so I'm going to come up this way just a smidge. Alright, I'll test the, not too bad, right? Somewhere in a D on that head, so I can take this up a little bit more to get to where I'd really like to be. I'm only going to do just 1/8 of a turn all the way around here though. Unless I run into a lug that's really easy to turn. And if that's the case, then I just want to turn it enough that it becomes snug. Tuning your head, if you're trying to get to G or G sharp, I like to ease it in. I'll crank it up there, but I'll give myself a week or so of letting things kind of acclimate on the head with the pickup. It's getting up there. Still a little bit low. At this point I can tighten up bring this guy down so he's almost touching the rim hoop, which obviously raises my pitch on my strings, but okay, so the things to look for.